just look at that mozzarella. That is absolutely beautiful. And this is
Hey all, it's Jess from Sunflower Dairy, and I'm here today to talk to you about mozzarella cheese. So making mozzarella cheese is a lot easier than you think. A lot of people think you have to have rennet and tons of crazy cheese making things, but I'm going to show you how to make a quick and easy mozzarella cheese with just a couple ingredients. So let's get started. Alright all, first things first, let's talk about milk. So before you choose what milk you're going to use, you want to think about a couple things. So I've used multiple kinds of milk to make cheese. I've used 1% milk from the store, 2% milk from the store. I've used whole milk, and I've also used raw milk. So let's talk about the best kind of milk. So preferably raw milk, but you definitely, if you aren't able to get raw milk, then whole milk is the next best thing. So if you have to get milk from the grocery store, I'm going to say whole milk, but if you just want to use whatever milk you have on hand. Right, today I am using a raw milk to make our cheese. So I'm going to be dumping half a gallon of milk in our cheese making pot here. We are going to turn the heat on medium, and we are going to stir this until the temperature hits 120 degrees. You want to keep stirring it so that it heats evenly throughout the milk. All right, let's start stirring. I'm adding a thermometer to my cheese pan, just so I can keep an eye on that temperature. Now you don't have to buy a fancy thermometer for this, just whatever kind of kitchen thermometer you have in the kitchen is just fine. You just want to make sure that you're watching that temperature to make sure that you're right at the temperature that you need to be. Alright, we are right at 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So we are turning the heat off, and we are adding 8 tablespoons of vinegar. Now we are stirring this for about 30 seconds, and then we're going to put the lid on to let it curdle. Alright, we are leaving the lid on this to curdle for about 4 to 5 minutes. Alright, now we're going to be adding about a tablespoon of salt to this to flavor our cheese. So just gonna slowly mix that in. We're gonna let that set for a couple more minutes to absorb that flavor of the salt. So I just want to give you an up close look when I take this lid off. I just want to show you some of these curds right here. So as you can see, our cheese has definitely separated, so now we have curds and whey. So next we are getting just a strainer, fine mesh strainer, and a stainless steel bowl. What we're going to do is we're going to be collecting those curds, and we're going to be putting them in the strainer. Now you can also use cheesecloth, but this is what I'm using. It's a little bit easier when you're trying to form the curds together. Alright, so we're just going to keep scooping those cheese curds until we think we've gotten all of them. Slowly pour the rest of your whey in there, and as you can see, there's still more cheese curds. So this is why I used a strainer over the stainless steel bowl, because that way it can catch the whey and you can get the rest of those cheese curds that you might not have gotten if you just kept scooping them all by hand. Alright, now after most of your whey has drained through your strainer, you're just gonna start combining your cheese curds together, kind of pressing them and folding them until they start coming together
So you're gonna start getting a ball forming in there. And you want that to just kind of stay together and fold together. It's gonna start acting like it's getting stretchy. So you just keep folding it together. You don't want to work it too much because then it will start getting too tough. But you just want to put together so it's just enough so it's forming that ball shape. One of the main steps that you need to make sure you do, especially if you're making mozzarella, is you need to reheat your mozzarella. So you can do this one of two ways. You can either put your cheese curd back into your whey on the stove and heat that up slowly, or you can put it in the microwave for 30-second intervals and you can keep track of it that way. Now you want it to reach 160 degrees when it is starting to get that stretchy stage. So as you're heating up your cheese, you want to just keep checking that temperature to see if it's getting to that 160 degree range. If not, then you want to keep heating it up till it gets there. All right, we are at the 160 degree Fahrenheit range. So what we're going to do is take our wooden spoon and we're going to start folding this together. We're just going to keep folding this together until it starts forming a ball and holding its shape. And this is very hot, so you're just going to want to keep stirring and folding this. Once it is cool enough to touch with your hands, then you will want to start stretching it. But until then, you're just going to keep folding it onto itself. Just want to show you how this is looking. So see how this is getting that very shiny, stretchy mozzarella texture. We are just about there, and it is just about warm enough to start stretching with our hands. All right, and we are at that point where we can start stretching that mozzarella. Just look at that beautiful mozzarella. Oh my goodness. Wow, that is beautiful mozzarella. Just look at that. Look at that stretch. Still in the stretchy stage, you're gonna go ahead and folding it underneath itself and start forming that nice mozzarella ball. Once you have it formed into a nice shape, you're going to put it in ice water. All right, setting that into our ice water, and we're gonna let that set until it's completely cooled. We're waiting for our cheese to chill. I want to talk to you a little bit about the whey. So a lot of people are like, what about the whey? There's a lot of whey. Well, you could use this if you live on a homestead. You could use it to feed your animals. I've heard of a lot of people giving this to their pigs or their chickens. I've also heard of people watering their plants with this. I've also heard that there's tons of like minerals and protein and nutrition in this. So if you wanted to use it in recipes or, you know, use this somehow in your daily nutrition, you could. So, you know, you could also use the whey from your cheese making. Right, our cheese is done. After you take it out of the ice bath, you want to just blot it off with a paper towel to get rid of all that extra moisture. But just look at that beautiful block of mozzarella. All right, let's cut into this. My goodness. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, just look at that mozzarella. That is absolutely beautiful. And this is going to have that beautiful stretch when it melts. Oh, just look at that. That is some beautiful cheese. Wow. This would be delicious with tomatoes, basil, herbs. Put it on pizza. Beautiful cheese. All right, there's only one more thing to do. Let's try this mozzarella. That is delicious.
Alright, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for coming along and making some mozzarella cheese with me. I hope you try this. Comment down below. Let me know if you tried this and if you've made cheese before. Thanks for watching. Have a blessed day.